Today we are going to talk about forwarding refs. It is a technique for automatically passing a ref through a component to one of its children. This is typically not necessary for most components. It is useful for some components, especially reusable component libraries. In React, parent component typically uses props to transfer data to their children. For example, you make a child component with a new set of props to change its behavior. We need a way for this without having to look for the state or re-rendering the component. We do this using refs. We can access a DOM node that is represented by an element using refs. As a result, we will make changes to it. It takes two parameters, a function with props and reference argument, and returns a JSX element. Let us create two components here. One will be our child component. We will name it forchild.js, and another will be our parent component and we will name it forparent.js. So we will be using two components here today. Inside our forparent.js, we will be using the React snippet RCE to create a class component. And let me get rid of this export. And in our forchild.js, we will be using RFCE to create the functional component. Now inside forparent.js, using our const snippet, we are going to create a constructor and we will use the method createRef. So this dot for ref, and we will assign it to the react dot createRef method. Next, inside our div, we are going to insert an h1 which says parent component, and inside our functional component also let us add an h1 saying child component. Now we are going to create a button which will focus the child element here. So let us name our button focus. Inside our child component, let us add an input tag. This input tag is going to take the input type text, and now we are going to add this component inside our parent component. So we will write for child, and inside our app.js we are going to pass the parent component, that is for parent. Let us add an onClick function inside our button. So onClick will be this dot change handler, and we will now write the function change handler. So for our change handler, we are going to define this dot for ref dot current dot focus. Now we are going to pass the ref in our for child. So we are going to write ref and we will pass it to this dot for ref. Now inside our child component, we are going to pass the ref as ref. the ref parameter inside the child component gets the reference from the parent component. Now to use the forward ref method, we need to change the function for child a little bit. So let us create a constant and name it for child. And now we are going to edit our code a little bit. So we will just, now we are going to write react dot forward ref, and inside that we are going to pass our arrow function. So let me just remove this return tag from here and paste it inside the function. The forward ref method has two parameters. The first one is props, so we are going to add props, and the second one is ref. And let me edit it a little bit. Okay, so we are done with that. Now we will remove this function for child from here because it has no work. So you can see we have a focus button, a child component and a parent component. So as we click on focus, nothing works right now. We need to add the bind method inside our class component so that we do not get an error. So we are going to add this dot change handler, and we will assign it to this dot change handler dot bind, and inside that we are going to pass this keyword. The bind method is used to pass the data as an argument to the function of a class based component. So we have to bind the change handler and pass it to the on click, and this will be undefined when the function is called. So without this line we will get an error, and our change handler cannot read the for ref without this line. Now if you click on the focus button, you can see the child component is focused. So this is how we use the forward ref method. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching.